What if General Lee was actually illegal to drive? What if the Duke boys hated each other off-screen? The Dukes of Hazzard weren't just good old boys, never meaning no harm. It was a production nightmare hiding secrets that could have destroyed the show. Music? I told you not to. They destroyed over 300 General Lee cars during filming the automotive massacre that shocked even stunt coordinators. The Dukes of Hazzard destroyed between 309 and 21 Dodge Chargers during its 7-season run, making it the most destructive television production in history. Warner Brothers purchased every available 1969 Charger they could find across America, paying between $500 and $3,000 per car, depending on condition. But here's the insane part. By season 3, the supply of genuine 69 Chargers had been completely exhausted. The production started buying 1968 and 1970 models, then modifying them to look like 69s. They changed grills, tail lights, and body panels to maintain continuity. Stunt coordinator Gary Baxley revealed in a 2006 interview that they were destroying cars faster than they could acquire them, forcing production to halt filming multiple times while scouts searched junkyards nationwide. The really crazy detail: each jump destroyed the car's frame beyond repair. Even successful landings that looked clean on camera meant the vehicle was never drivable again. The chassis would twist, suspension would collapse, and frame rails would crack. Every single General Lee jump was effectively a one-time, disposable stunt. But listen, Luke, what makes you think I can't give her something she needs? Huh? Oh, sure. An amateur driver to do a crazy stunt to damn near kill. Hey, Jerry, I met you. You know, if we weren't cousins, I'd marry you. John Schneider and Tom Wopat were paid less than the car. Here's the salary scandal that nearly called the show. During season 1, John Schneider and Tom Wopat each earned $5,000 per episode, while General Lee's maintenance, preparation, and replacement costs averaged $7,000 per episode. Warner Brothers valued the car more than the actors, but the financial exploitation got worse. By season 3, the show was generating $30 million annually in advertising revenue. Yet, Schneider and WOD were still making their original $5,000 per episode salary with no raises. Here's where the rebellion started. The actors discovered Catherine Bach, who played Daisy Duke, had negotiated a deal earning $122,000 per episode, plus royalties on Daisy Duke merchandise. The men had no merchandise deals despite the General Lee toys bearing their likenesses. In 1982, both actors walked off set demanding contract renegotiations. Warner Brothers initially refused, instead hiring replacements Coy and Vance Duke, played by Byron Cherry and Christopher Mayer. The replacement season was a ratings disaster, dropping 40% in viewership. Warner Brothers finally agreed to pay Schneider and $20,000 per episode, plus merchandise royalties. The strike cost both actors approximately $300,000 each in lost salary, but they considered it worth fighting exploitation. There's a famous car called the General Lee with a Confederate flag on top of it. It's another one of the main reasons they're getting rid of it. Warner Brothers announced last week that it would stop. Nice roof, redneck. Join us in the 21st century. The show was banned in 38 countries for the Confederate flag. What if General Lee's most iconic feature made it illegal in most of the world? By 1983, 38 countries had banned the Dukes of Hazzard for broadcast, specifically because of the Confederate flag painted on General Lee's roof. Germany's Broadcasting Commission declared the symbol violated their anti-Nazi imagery laws. The United Kingdom's Television Standards Board received over 5,000 complaints after just 2 episodes aired. Here's where the controversy escalated internationally. Warner Brothers attempted to create edited versions with the flag digitally removed or replaced, but the technology didn't exist in the early 8S to seamlessly erase it from every shot. They tried physically painting over the flag on certain hero cars used for close-ups, but this created continuity errors where the roof changed appearance between wide shots and close-ups. Some countries allowed broadcast only if a disclaimer aired before each episode explaining the historical context, but most simply banned it outright. The really insane part The international bans cost Warner Brothers an estimated $150 million in lost licensing revenue over the show's run. Producer Guy Waldron later admitted he never anticipated the flag would become controversial, calling it a simple aesthetic choice that destroyed international marketability. The controversy that culled foreign sales in the 80s returned even harder decades later when streaming services began removing episodes. Music, Catherine Bach's Daisy Dukes were considered pornographic by censors. Here's the wardrobe battle that nearly got the show canceled. CBS censors implemented a specific rule for Catherine Bach's costume. Her denim shorts could be no shorter than 3 in above the knee, and they measured with rulers before every filming. Bach fought this restriction constantly, arguing the measurement made no sense because her legs were longer than average, making 3 look different on her than on shorter women. Here's how she won the war. Bach discovered a loophole. The censors only measured the shorts before filming, not during. Between takes, she would roll the waistband to make them shorter, then unroll them when censors were present. The wardrobe department became her accomplices, creating shorts with elastic waistbands that could be quickly adjusted. But here's the really shocking detail. CBS received over 12,000 complaint letters during Season 1 from religious groups demanding Bach be forced to wear longer shorts. The network actually considered replacing her with an actress willing to dress more conservatively. Producer Guy Waldron threatened to quit if they touched Daisy's costume, arguing it was essential to the show's appeal. The compromise? Censors allowed the short shorts, but banned certain camera angles and movements they deemed exploitative. This meant no low-angle shots and no slow-motion running scenes featuring Daisy. Music, we know you're going to strip. I'm going to go after him. In this case, leave it to me. I got a personal score to settle. Boss Hogg's white suit costs more than most actors' weekly salary. The economics that show where the budget really went. Boss Hogg's iconic white suit was custom-made by Hollywood costumer Western Costume Company at a cost of $2,300 per suit. Sorrel Book, who played Boss Hogg, went through approximately 42 suits per season due to outdoor filming conditions and action sequences. That's over $96,000 annually just for one character's costume. Meanwhile, stunt performers were earning $1,500 per episode. Here's the detail that makes this insane. The suits weren't just expensive because of quality. They were specially treated with a chemical weatherproofing process that cost $800 per suit because Boss Hogg filmed outdoor scenes in Georgia humidity. Without the treatment, the fabric would yellow from sweat within hours. The white hat that completed the costume cost another $700, and Book went through roughly 20 hats per season. But here's the truly wasteful part. Warner Brothers demanded pristine white costumes in every scene, meaning Book changed suits 3 to 5 times per filming day if any dirt or grass stains appeared. The costume department kept 6 identical suits on set at all times. The total investment in Boss Hogg's wardrobe exceeded $400,000 over 7 seasons, more than some cast members' total earnings. Are you kidding me? Did you see that? You done scuffed all the chrome off my bumper and made my vehicle criminally attack yours. I don't think so. Music, James Best played both Roscoe's and his own stunt double. Here's the secret that proves James Best was the show's most undervalued performer. Best not only played Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, also performed virtually all his own stunts. Despite being 53 years old when the show premiered, the production couldn't find a stunt double who matched Best's unique physical comedy style. So, he did pratfalls, car crashes, and fights himself. But here's where it gets more impressive. Best was also an accomplished stunt driver who had worked in westerns for 30 years. He drove the police car in many pursuit scenes that fans assumed used stunt drivers. Here's the detail nobody knows. Best injured himself seriously 11 times during the show's run, including 2 broken ribs, a fractured wrist, and a severe concussion. He had most injuries from producers because he feared being replaced with a younger actor who required less insurance. The concussion happened during Season 4 when a planned car crash went wrong and Best hit his head on the door frame. He finished filming the episode despite bleeding internally, then spent 3 days hospitalized. Warner Burbs never knew. Best's wife later revealed he was in constant pain during seasons 5 through 7 from accumulated injuries, but refused to stop doing stunts because the physical comedy defined his character. Music. We had wonderful directors. And it was interesting. Most of our directors were the old-timers, the guys who had worked all the funny shows. The show's creator based it on his own criminal past. What if the Dukes of Hazzard was based on actual crimes? Creator Guy Waldron revealed in a 1998 interview that he based the show on his family's illegal moonshine operation in Kentucky during the 1950s. Waldron's uncles ran moonshine across state lines using souped-up cars to outrun police, exactly like the Duke boys. Here's the shocking detail. Waldron witnessed at least 3 high-speed chases as a child when he accompanied his uncles on delivery runs. The famous General Lee jump stunts were based on a real incident where his uncle jumped a creek bed to escape pursuing officers. But here's where reality was darker than television. Waldron's uncle Grady was shot and called by police during a chase in 1957 when Waldron was 14 years old. That tragedy haunted him and inspired the probation premise where the Duke boys couldn't carry guns. Waldron wanted to show outlaws who weren't violent, unlike his uncle who had fired back at police. The character of Uncle Jesse was directly based on Waldron's grandfather, who ran the illegal still and treated moonshining as a family tradition rather than serious crime. Warner Brothers knew nothing about this background when they greenlit the show. They thought Waldron had created a wholesome Southern fantasy. He'd actually dramatized organized crime. Applause, just a good old music. Juan Jennings recorded the narration while intoxicated. Here's the recording secret that explains the narration's unique, laid-back quality. Juan Jennings recorded virtually all his narration voiceovers while drinking whiskey in the studio, often completing sessions in the early morning hours after finishing concert performances. Producer Paul Peard revealed in a 2005 interview that Jennings refused to record sober, claiming it made his voice sound too tight and professional for the good old boy character he was portraying. Here's the really wild detail. Jennings would show up to recording sessions at 2 or 3 a.m., still wearing stage clothes from concerts, sometimes with his band, and treat the voiceover work as a casual jam session. Engineers learned to have whiskey and cigarettes ready because Jennings wouldn't start until he felt loose enough. Many of the narration's most memorable ad-libs happened because Jennings was too intoxicated to read the script properly and just improvised. Lines like, "Y'all come back now, you hear," weren't written. Jennings made them up on the spot. Here's the part that shocked producers. Some sessions required 15 or 20 takes because Jennings would start laughing mid-narration and couldn't stop. But when he finally nailed a take, it had authentic Southern charm that sober professional voice actors couldn't replicate. Warner Brothers eventually stopped fighting his methods and just accepted that quality narration required drunk Juan. These cars just a lot faster than they used to be. That is why I am an auto trader. Oh, look out. The police cars were actually painted school buses. What if Hazzard County's police fleet was built from retired school buses? The production couldn't afford to destroy real police vehicles for crash scenes. So, stunt coordinator Hal Needham developed a solution. Purchase retired school buses, cut them down a car size, and rebuild them to look like Plymouth Furies. Here's the insane engineering. Needham's crew would buy old school buses for $300 to $500, then completely disassemble them. They kept the heavy-duty frame and suspension, removed the bus body, and fabricated new bodies from fiberglass and sheet metal shaped like police cars. The result was a vehicle that could withstand massive crashes because it had school bus structural integrity underneath a cop car exterior. But here's the detail that made this brilliant. School bus frames are designed to protect children in accidents, making them nearly indestructible compared to standard car frames. The production could crash these Frankenstein vehicles repeatedly, simply replacing the cosmetic body panels between takes. Here's the cost breakdown that proves the genius. A real Plymouth Fury cost approximately $4,000. Building a bus-based replica cost $1,200 and could survive 5 to 7 crashes before retirement. Real police cars were destroyed in single crashes. Needham's innovations saved Warner Brothers an estimated $2 million over the show's run. Eagle-eyed viewers noticed the police cars sat slightly higher than normal vehicles because of the bus suspension. The gun was marching me off to the woods. I got nothing to say to you. I'd go. You almost killed all my friends and some of my enemies, too. Daisy, you all right? Crazy good talking. Turkey coming right down my alley.